Dave, do you have the rate watch music?
I do.
Okay, cool. We'll knock that. Have it planned for the first segment here. That way, we ain't got to worry about it later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, roger that.
Yo, Roger Dodger.
All right, 1 minute.
Yes, please. What is up, Gumbo Nation? The Queen, she's here. The royalty, the legend, the one and only. There it is. You see her. She's here, just so you see. Look at her. You need a, what is it, a scepter? A scepter or something? What's the...
I need a crown, first of all.
You do need a crown. You need a crown. About to inform the heck out of y'all on some insurance stuff. That is for sure.
30.
One of the most talked about topics out there.
What about wildfire and fire insurance?
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is that covered by homeowners?
It is.
Yep.
10 seconds.
Yep.
Lower deductible.
Hey, get you some wildfire insurance. I might make a joke about that. What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, and I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority, where for, heck, in 2 weeks, 9 years, we've been providing education and options to folks just like you on your most valuable asset, your home. This is your home show. If you're new to the show, welcome to the Gumbo Nation. So excited to have you here. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. For those who are part of the show, you understand and you know this. We've been doing this forever. We know how important home buying is. That's why we have what we call the Total Home Authority. And last week we had Jeff Lesher, president of Florida Lee Law and Title. This week, the Queen, her chariot is coming in shortly, and she is going to be with us. The Queen of Insurance, Colette Biedenkoff. Insurance, my God, it's one of the most talked about topics right now. Especially in South Louisiana, on everything, what's going on with, Louisiana, what's going on with all these insurances and everything like that. We are going to be discussing that today. So Colette Biedenkoff is in. She's going to give her expertise. You're going to be excited. I've got a bunch of questions, but she is going to break up and maybe help us look into the future, right? A little bit of a crystal ball. What's happening with insurance? I was at a realtor function this week, and all the realtors are kind of like, oh, we can't wait for insurance to shut down. We can't wait for this or that, So the insurance, if there's no hurricanes, it's going to get cheaper. Hey, I'm going to ask Colette those questions on what happens, what's going on. So nobody better in the business to answer than her, so excited about that. Lots going on. Listen, we'll talk about it in a little bit. We'll knock out Rate Watch. There's a lot going on in the media. We've told you that Jerome Powell is going to be speaking. There's no meeting until next month. However, he did speak this week, and the market did not have any huge reaction. Personally, I think he's scared because this next rate hike, which I think he's still going to do, this could be the one that maybe starts to put us into a little bit of, not a little bit, I know people are feeling it. Money is tight. Gas prices are up. Food cost is up. And when you look at everything that's going on right now, look, here's what I could tell you. from the mortgage side. And here's how I know things are getting tighter. We have plenty of people calling us at Mortgage Gumbo, and we are doing refinances right now that are paying off people's credit cards that have snuck up on them. They've gotten expensive. Listen, the average car payment is $750, okay? Almost 25%, 24 point something percent. So 1 out of 4 people out there have a car note that's over $1,000. $1,000. So that stuff all sounds good. 0%, all that kind of fun stuff sounds great. And then guess what? Then this stuff comes in. So now people are starting to feel that grind, and I get it. So people go, hey, well, why do you do a full refinance, Dwayne, versus give them a HELOC? Listen, we've got fixed rate HELOCs. We've got a great AI program that you control. You get an approval. It takes 5 minutes to fill out. You get an approval in 5 minutes, and you get your money in less than 5 days. Here's the deal. Sometimes a HELOC just isn't enough because this AI-based, you don't get the equity that you need, and the savings aren't there. So, that's why, again, if you're thinking about that, take advantage. Go to snapsendandsave.com. Go check out, right when you go to mortgagegumbo.com, you can click on free second look. This week saves the guy $8,000 in fees and got him $15,000 more dollars. You got to be careful with these online lenders. I'm not here to poo-poo on anybody, but folks, you got a lot of people in this business that just don't know what they're doing, right? They just don't know what they're doing. And that's on the lending side, the realtor side. And it's frustrating for me because this is a passion. This is why we do this show. And seeing these people like yourself, the Gumbo Nation, who are being misled or misinformed or overcharged because people just don't know. All they want to try to do is sell a rate. Rates aren't your friend right now, straight up. But you don't have to put yourself in purgatory by these folks trying to charge these exorbitant amounts of fees because all they know how to do is sell a rate, right? So what we're seeing is, listen, we're seeing purchase business. I'm proud of you, Gumbo Nation. You understand the value of home ownership. You've been listening to Parker and I and over the last year talking about the importance of home ownership. And you're braving these rates. And that's awesome. And guess what? You're going to reap the benefits of this when the rates do recede. And they will. Listen, if I knew when, me and Colette would be celebrating in Vegas, right? Once our chariot gets here. Instead, we're here with you on Saturday, right? In Mandeville, in our office studio. So, but it's get yourself educated. And those home buyers, listen, y'all are super brave right now. But that's why we bringing in Colette as well, because we want to talk about the biggest thing is when people call is they go, all right, what's your rate? Hey, before we get into rate, let's get into homeowners. Let's get into, you're buying that investment property. Let's get into that, right? We'll talk about roofs. We'll talk about some of those things that are going on that, what are maybe some ways to save a little bit. So it's almost like here in South Louisiana, and listen, we're the most resilient people out there, so we're overcoming it. But at the end of the day, insurance is having a tremendous effect. Tremendous effect. And I got people that are calling me, hey, you said you gave me a fixed rate. And then because their insurance premiums went up. So, Colette, bless her heart, her and her team, these insurance companies, when they go away, she's the one, they got to come in, they got to find somebody for you, they got to figure out where to place you. So there's just, and when those options are limited, you're limited on what you have as far as payments and premiums and all that. So a lot of that stuff's going on behind the scene, and that's why we have the Total Home Authority. That's why we have quality people like Colette, because we're looking out for you. We try to get ahead of this as much as possible. But please, I'm starting to see, and we talked about this about a month ago, 5 weeks ago, and if you're a listener and you're not, go to YouTube, type in Mortgage Gumbo and subscribe, or go become a fan of the Gumbo Nation group. I mean, all of our videos, today's video with Colette will be uploaded. We have more than 500 videos for you to be educated on what your options are as a homeowner, as a future homeowner. We don't hide any secrets. Our competition, everybody, it's free for you. We want to get that information out there. But just like I told a couple weeks ago, you know, you get these folks who are out there trying to sound cool. They want to go viral on TikTok and all these fancy things. Oh, X about assumable mortgages. They don't have a clue. It sounds good. Hey, did you know you can assume that person's mortgage if they're at 3% versus paying 7 or 7.5% today? Doesn't work like that. There's a lot more that goes to that, so I want you to understand those things. The latest thing I'm saying is I saw somebody the other day talk about, oh, if your insurance goes up, you know, go take out a penalty on your 401k to do that, right? And then the other one said, then I saw another one that said, oh, X for a escrow waiver. Folks, you're not getting an escrow waiver if you put 3% down. You get an escrow waiver if you're at 20%, right? If you have 20% equity. Oh, get it. So you got to be careful on what you're hearing, because this is probably one of the only shows out there where we keep it real, which is why we continue to grow, and because folks want to know when it comes to their home, they don't want no BS. This is a BS-free zone. So they want to know exactly what is going on. So let's knock out so we can get to a break. I hear her chariot is approaching. Let's get into our weekly segment we like to call Rate Watch. Rate Watch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's America's first handcrafted vodka. So look, 30-year conventional, 7.39. That's an ugly number. Period. Period. It's an ugly number. No ands, ifs, or buts. But what it's doing is it's giving some opportunity for a lot of buyers, and we're starting to see contracts. People are not worried about, not that they're not worried, they're accepting of it. 7.39, a 15, 6.77. FHA, 7%. Jumbo, 736. VA, 699. And a 5-1 arm, 7.19. Be wary of those schmuckatellis out there. People are desperate in our industry right now. Very, very desperate. So be very aware. Trust but verify. Vet. Do your homework. All right, on the other side of the break, she's here. Total Home Authority member Colette Biedenkopf with TWFG Insurance will be in studio. If you've got any questions, send them into info@mortgagegumbo.com or give us a shout at 504-260-0995. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. Nice. Look at you, dude. That sounds like my son's pregame music, man.
Yeah, young Dolph.
Yep. A little pregame.
Still blows my mind. My son calls Nirvana classic rock.
I know.
Like, what do you mean classic rock? He's like, it's 30 years old, Dad. I'm like, shut up.
Right.
Do you get on your Facebook feeds, like 30 years ago today, this movie came out?
Yes.
Okay, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's
What happened? I blinked.
Yeah.
That's a Kenny Chesney song.
Yes, it is.
And it's true. Don't blink.
What is up, Gumbo Nation? Yes, that is her, the queen. You're getting a little behind the scenes. Look at her.
Who is this?
That's just,
I can't see.
we got a ton of people on right now, chilling with us, enjoying, joining us,
2 minutes.
hanging out with us. The queen of insurance.
I have to dust off my radio.
Yeah, you're good.
It's been a minute.
I know. You're busy rewriting premiums.
Yeah. Did Melissa tell you she passed?
No, good. Awesome. Good for her. That is awesome. all natural look. I got the inside the studio look, a little more raw.
Yeah.
You know.
Versus like a fake background.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. 10 seconds.
Because I could never get on the time upright, and then it delayed.
Got it. Hey, real. Just be real.
Here we go.
Yeah. Welcome back. Everything today is about the Queen. Affectionately named her, gave her, anointed her the Queen of Insurance. Gosh, 7, 8, 9 years ago, and she is just that. Queen of Insurance, Colette Biedenkopf, is in studio. If you're new to the Gumbo, yes, look, there it is. The rose petals. She was signing, people were outside the studio early today signing autographs to get just one look at royalty here in Mandeville, Louisiana. Excited to have her, and as many of you know, if you're new to the show, we have what we call the Total Home Authority. Put this together years ago because we know when buying a home, it's your most valuable asset. So, we work with people, and only people we trust that can get the job done. That's why we average closing loans in 15 days. It's because of Colette and her team getting the right information, knowing premiums. One of the biggest things that's going on right now is insurance. So who better than to get let me give a nice hello, Colette, Queen of Insurance. Welcome back to Mortgage Gumbo.
Thank you.
It's been a little while, and we've got on me, and we've got tons of there we go. Tons of whoa. All right, tons of new listeners that we've got here at Mortgage Gumbo. So let's kind of talk about for you just the industry and how much it has changed in the last couple years. I guess we can really say it's kind of gotten turned over since Ida for us locally over in Lake Charles. Really goes back to what, 2020? Kind of talk about that and what you've seen in the industry to this point right now.
Going back to 2020, we had a plentiful amount of insurance companies writing business in the state. This is right when COVID hit, so we didn't have these shortages of materials and all of this different. The whole landscape of our reality has actually changed since 2020.
Right.
So what's playing into insurance right now isn't just weather related. It is COVID related. It's inflationary issues. It's not just one thing that makes a mess typically. It's a whole bunch of things that happen in consecutive order that creates the mess we are sitting in today.
Kind of like the perfect storm, the movie, right? Everything hit
Exactly.
Okay.
It was the perfect storm because you had the COVID issues along with the weather-related issues, which literally has changed everyone's lives. I mean, everyone. And insurance is not just, having an issue here where we're sitting.
Right.
This is being felt everywhere. So, as we have it more so because of our vulnerability for storms. And so we're going to pay a higher premium than everyone else to protect property because of our vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that...
Hey, let's take an emergency break.
Okay.
All right, hey, we'll be right back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo. We got a little technical stuff we'll knock out on our end here. We'll be right back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein, iHeartRadio.
All right, we got 2 minutes.
All right. Me or her? Or?
Her. So it sounds like she's far away. and yours was down low, and then it just all started cracking.
Crack it, yeah. All right.
So yeah, but it sounds like just your mic is picking her up again.
All right.
Like
Let me see. Hold on. Test, test, test. Nothing, huh?
No, nothing.
All right, let's see.
The gremlin got us.
Dude, talk too soon. Testing 1, 2, 3. Nothing, right?
No, nothing.
All right. Test, test, test. Nothing.
No, didn't seem like it.
Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test.
It's still pretty low.
Test, 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 test. Well,
Wait.
Wait up. There's a
wait.
low song. Dude.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, hold on.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, working. Yes.
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 All right. Let talk.
Test, test, test.
Yep.
Go ahead, Colette. You do it now.
Test, test, test.
Yes, much better.
Jesus.
Gremlin. It was the gremlin.
Dude.
and of course, it happens right as we come back.
Right. Right. My God.
All right. I put in a 60-second fill, so we got a solid minute. Let me re-cue up the music.
Yep.
We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna do a
Mulligan.
do-over.
We're
Yeah.
taking a mulligan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you got me. I'm good. I'm coming in, huh?
Yes.
I'm
right.
good still.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. Brand new wire. Brand new. Out the box. I'm sorry.
Should I?
All the time.
20 seconds.
Quite often. The Lord even only challenges those who are strong. Hi, I'm Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
All right. 5 seconds.
All right, we're back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Steiner right here on iHeartRadio. The Queen of Insurance. Hey, we had a little technical difficulty, so our folks streaming, they got quite a little show there. But in studio, Colette Biedenkoff, the Queen of Insurance, her chariot, all that. We've got all the music, everything, the best in the business. And before we had to go to a emergency break, like that was one of those things where it's like, cut, get out of here real quick. Like we didn't say anything wrong. It was just a technical issue. So Colette, you were kind of talking about the perfect storm in 2020, right? COVID, Ida, the stuff out west, Louisiana. And it really kind of turned the insurance market on its head.
Yes, it did.
Right?
Yes,
and,
it did.
you know, so I've watched you and what it's done, I think, the challenges that it's given us here in South Louisiana and other states, but like we talk about all the time on this show, I could care less what's going on anywhere else, right? Let's sort of talk about it's turned it on its head, but what that looks like now, not just from the lack of insurers that are in the state, right? Or is that what really has changed the skyline, so to speak, the look? There's just not as much.
What we were talking about before the emergency break was basically we are in a vulnerable area because of we have a high density of population that's very coastal. So we're always going to have higher premiums here versus northern, parishes in the state because of that wind vulnerability that we have. And so what I saw prior to 2020, because that's really when the whole landscape of insurance started to change. We had a viable amount of carriers that were offering insurance. So the risk was being spread, and the rates were very, very affordable and almost too low in a sense.
Yeah.
Because for when you do have a serious event that occurs and you're paying $2,500 a year in premium and you pay that over 10 years, that's 25,000, but then a tree falls on your house and you're paid 250,000. So,
So it's almost self-inflicted, right? We enjoyed the low rates.
We enjoyed the rates. They were lovely. Everyone was buying homes. Everyone got good interest rates. We were flying high. Like, man, we are on a roll.
Right.
And then the brakes were put on with COVID. Then you had 5 hurricanes that in 2020 entered the Gulf. One of them decimated Lake Charles. And then we, had the Ida event here. And so what happened was when there's catastrophes that occur, our insurers have a certain amount of self-insurance. So the premiums that we pay every year, they're put into reserves for rainy day funds, let's say. And when there is a catastrophic type of event, they rely on their reinsurance to kick in to because they pay premiums just like we do, for additional coverage in the event of these storms. And so what happened was the reinsurance companies, had to come in and pay out millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is a deal. There's only like 3 or 4 reinsurance companies in the world. Okay, so it's
so
not.
Let's talk about that because you called me out on when I was like, look, I think it was bad management, and you were like, dude, there's only so much to go around. So what she means by that, Gumbo Nation, is the insurers of the insurance companies.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So they are the ones who, when all this goes down, then they go into the reserve. They're the ones that sort of have to pick up the slack.
Correct. Like once they exhaust, their the carrier that is on your declaration page, has a certain fund that they are going to pay claims out of, and when there's widespread damage catastrophe, then they have to utilize their insurance policies to pay out. So what happened was, after these multiple storms and events that happened in such close timing, meaning it wasn't like we had a Laura and then 10 years later we had an Ida. We had a Laura, then Ida. And then you had stuff going on in Florida. Well, the same companies that are insuring us here were also insuring people in Florida. So those reinsurance companies paid out way more than what they anticipated because of the consecutive severe damages that happened in a close time frame. Understood. So they came back to our local regional carriers with a premium that one carrier told me this. For every dollar they collect in premium, 75 cents is what they were paying for their insurance policy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that in order for them to remain a viable company, they have to increase the rate, the premium that we're all seeing. And that is across the board why you are seeing our renewals go up so significantly. It isn't because the company wants to gouge the customer. That is not what they want. They are literally working it in a business model based on expenses, what they need to charge to remain in business. That's what we're seeing. So on our side of the fence, the consumer side, what we have been doing, if you want to get into that, is trying to find creative ways to literally work with our customers to craft a policy that affords them sufficient coverage, but also bring that premium down. And with doing so, the consumer also has to take on a little bit more self insurance for themselves in order to do that. So we work with that person on, okay, contents coverage is typically 50% of what the coverage amount is on your home. Well, if your home is at 500,000, then your contents are typically at 250,000. We can bring that contents coverage down, okay? And that's going to reduce the premium. Then we can look at your deductibles. You might be at $1,000 deductible, and we're like, look, let's bump that up to 2,500, 5,000, because if any little things happen, to your home, you are going to have these things fixed yourself versus making a claim. Again, reducing the premium. So we have been working diligently, religiously, 10 hours a day, trying to work with the clients we have to make the premiums a little bit more tolerable for folks.
And explain that is why people are getting their mortgage statements, or they're getting these, because when their annual renewal's coming up, all of a sudden, and boom, now your mortgage payment went up, but it's not the principal and interest. It's that insurance part of your PITI.
It's your escrow balances that are being adjusted
to make it whole.
And what we see is that people aren't really paying attention to the mail or email where you're getting your renewal offers. Okay. They're not acting upon those things until your mortgage paid the premiums. They have re-amortized your escrow balance, and your house note now has come up. Then we get the phone call saying, my insurance went up. Well, yeah, it did 3 or 4 months ago. But take the time to open the mail, open your email,
answer the phone call, listen to your voicemail from y'all calling.
We are calling saying, hey, look, we are trying to remarket you or make adjustments to this renewal premium, call us back. Let's discuss it so we can craft it literally to that individual. Because I might have a family of 4 in a house. So that's all 4 people's clothing, all 4 people's belongings. They need to insure their contents differently than an older couple that's just 2 of them now at the house. So you have to literally craft it to that individual. Back in the day when premiums were low, 50% was sufficient. Everyone was happy. Deductibles were fine. It's not like that anymore. You literally can save money on your premiums, but you have to have a conversation with your agent so they can manipulate it to where it's more affordable.
Yeah, because there are certain options, right? And I know I hear people talking about, let's kind of talk about like LA Citizens, right?
Mm-hmm.
What that was or is now. I mean, everybody used to say, hey, that was the insurer of last resort. Well, again, thank goodness we had them, right? But what role are they playing now? Are they kind of, are they, I see a lot of policies because like you said, it's no longer call and, the bundle mumbo jumbo. Now it's funny how nobody cares about bundling when it's their money every month.
Well, okay, so let me start here.
Yep.
Before Katrina happened, there were very few policies in LA Citizens. After Katrina happened, you saw this huge increase in policy count with LA Citizens. And it took about 3 to 4 years after Katrina for those policy counts to start going back down and we're on the same sort of trajectory, I
Okay.
believe,
Yeah.
as that the only difference between analyzing that historical data versus today is COVID. Okay, shortages of material, inflationary things. We went through a similar situation after Katrina, but we had the '08 failure with all of
Yeah.
the real estate and the lending and everything like that. We have a different situation going on today, but again, I think we're still going to get to a place where we're going to have more availability. We're going to see a decrease of policies in LA citizens because we're going to have carriers available. The only thing is, I don't see a drastic decrease in premium
Right.
in the horizon.
Right.
I think we will see a decrease. It's not going to be drastic because the cost of everything is so much higher. And that's
I want to
inflationary related.
I want to talk about that a little bit more on the other side of the break because that's one of the questions that when I do events and I'm talking to people, a lot of realtors right now, and I think it's more of, and even lenders, I think it's more of hope than anything. Like, oh yeah, if we make it through this hurricane season. So I want to ask you a little bit more about that. The Queen of Insurance, Colette Biedenkopf, is in studio. If you want to reach out to her, 985-951-2070. They are amazing. They can answer all your questions. Like she said, the reason we get along is they craft solutions, right? Everybody's not painted with the same brush. It's what can we do for you, for your policy to protect your family. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Steiner right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995.
I think that was good.
That was real good, yeah, real good. Am I only fool? Yeah, we'll jump into that when we get back.
What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about just the premiums and where we see it. You know what I'm saying? And why, cheaper premiums aren't necessarily guaranteed.
You're not.
Right. What is up, Gumbo Nation? Yes, that is her. Y'all get to see me every week. That is the queen. You are looking at a queen. That is what a queen looks like on Saturday morning. Right there.
Oh my!
Right there with her
Yes.
PJs and.
Gotta have my caffeine.
She was not only working, she was doing mom duty earlier on the phone with Mallory, who's writing a big contract over in Florida. So I mean, it doesn't stop. The queen, she may take off her crown to sleep, but it's never far away. She's always handling business, no doubt about it, in her kingdom.
My kingdom next door to Dwayne.
That's right. That's right. We're taking over Old Mandeville.
We are.
One block at a time.
We might have to buy the lot across the street.
We need a wildfire to go through that lot first, though.
Yes. Get the old house off.
The dilapidated, blighted the blighted $500,000 house in Old Mandeville.
$1.5 million actually is what they're asking for the lot with the house on it.
That you wouldn't let your dog live in.
Well, it's not about the house. It's
right.
Well, no one has thought 1.5 million was the right number because it's still there for sale.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we could go in there and just go, boom, clear out a square, Yahtzee.
30 seconds.
Might have to talk to the mayor.
Playing with the Queen of Hearts.
Higgins? That was a weird video, too.
Yeah. It's all about the Queen. Colette Beancoff in studio, the Queen of Insurance, answering all your insurance questions. We've got a couple of them that I'm going to run by her shortly. But we were talking about just the perfect storm of Ida and everything going on and why premiums are what they are. And you kind of brought up, and one of the big things, I think it's more of hope than reality, right? Like people are trying to manifest things, right? That's the big thing right now. Trying to manifest losing weight as I slam down a couple slices of pizza or kolache. So let's bring that over to, we're hearing, if we can make it through another hurricane season, we're guaranteed to get lower premiums. Let's explain why that's not a guarantee, even because the thought is, more people are going to come back in, right? More companies.
Yeah.
Let's kind of talk and educate the Gumbo Nation on why that's not necessarily true, that just because you get an increase in insurance companies, right, or that cheaper premiums are around the corner.
Yeah. So it's all about economics. It's just simple math is what I say. I'm going to take the example of, one of the regional carriers I mentioned that's paying 75 cents on every dollar to insure themselves. So in order to be a viable company, you have to increase your rates. So the same companies that are going to be participating in writing business here are still going to have a pretty high premium themselves to pay to insure themselves.
Right.
So I don't see that relief on the horizon.
More choices, not cheaper costs.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly. Yes, that's what I believe we'll see first. Okay, I think we're going to see first more availability of different carriers before we see a reduction or substantial reduction in premium. Look, bring in the carriers.
Sure.
We're ready, because it is extremely difficult to write a policy these days. Once you write a policy, then you go through an extensive underwriting process, because if they're going to take on this risk, they want to make sure everything is tight, everything is well maintained. You have updated, water heaters, because believe it or not, we've had like 3 claims in one day of water heaters busting from this heat.
The heat, sure.
So there's really some bizarre things going on in homes right now with this heat. But what I forecast from my chair is, number one, getting more availability of different companies. And then if we have, let me kind of illustrate a little bit about who makes up these reinsurance companies and where do they get their funding from.
Right.
So from what I know, I'm not an expert on this at all, but this is just what I pick up in reading things, is that you have these big investment companies that will, say, hey, we're going to invest in some of these reinsurance markets, and what happened to them is they lost money when we had all of these catastrophes happen within a short period of time.
Right.
Then you have the interest rates that are increasing. So these investment companies can invest their money in more safer, higher interest bearing. Exactly. Okay. So you don't have these investment companies feeding into the reinsurance to decrease the reinsurance premiums, to the insurance companies.
Right.
So that's why I say it's going to take a little while for that to fix itself. But then you also have everything that we buy now is more expensive. So to build a home is more expensive than it was in 2019.
Right.
When you look at the prices of things from 19 to today, which is 4 years,
Yeah.
it is mind-boggling, the increases.
Yeah.
So again, the insurance companies can't say, okay, I'm going to charge you $2,000 for your $500,000 house.
Right.
Okay. Those days I don't see ever coming back because of simply the cost of rebuild, labor, materials.
Yeah.
That's what's going to, we don't have control over that. And I think we're going to have to it's kind of like, hey, this is what the cost is today, and we have to adjust to it.
Yeah, I mean it's a numbers game at the end of the day, right? Nobody opens their doors. Think about you, Gumbo Nation. You go to work, you expect to get paid. If you're self-employed, you don't go, hey, today's on me. It's a freebie, right? People don't open their doors to go break even. So while I like it because competition is good,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, because if that was the case, think about this. Let's make it in to a gas station. Right outside of our office, we've got two of them across the street. They're within 1 penny. Like, why doesn't one come in at $1.50?
Yeah.
Right? At
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's what is the cost, right? And then to service that. And, so the things I look at more is, and what separates your team is you have the staff, most importantly, is the service. Because we all have enough insurance. We all, until you need answers.
Yes.
Right? And that's where you guys separate yourself. That's why y'all burning the midnight oil, literally calling all your clients, reshopping them, not waiting for them to get that in the mail, and all of a sudden, y'all have a lot less calls than Johnny Insurance across, out there, because you care about your customers, and you're like, here's what's coming down the pike. Let's look at this.
Well, a couple of things when I started my agency this was my approach. If someone takes time out of their day to call us, okay, to talk about their insurance, we should answer the phone.
Yes.
Right then and there.
Correct.
Not voicemail, not press 1,
Yeah.
not press 2.
Yahtzee.
We respect our customers' time.
Yeah.
And because I look at myself, if I have to call somebody that I pay every year or every month, and I have to sit on hold or go through 5 prompts to talk to someone who cannot give me an answer, it is frustrating. And so you're less likely, in my opinion, to utilize that company again because you didn't have just an ease of doing business.
Well, and that's the thing. It goes from being a service measure that you and I offer, right,
Yeah.
to you feel like it's a cost-cutting measure.
Yeah.
Right? And to me, what that means, when you do have something, then what's going to happen, right? I mean, I remember, look, Ida, you picked up, you went and rented hotel rooms in Florida, and brought all your team out there because you knew the importance of, hey, here's how, put on your website, here's how to reach us, here's the numbers, here's sending that out to people, emails, massive emails, here's the numbers we're going to be at. Those are the things, folks, that are important. So even though you're going to get other folks coming in, at the end of the day, it's going to come down.
Well, and I see your point where, look, if it wasn't, there's no one company that is offering these extraordinarily low premiums.
Exactly.
All of the premiums are high. They are high everywhere, with every company writing, every company that's offering renewals. It is high. So what you want to do is team yourself up with an agency that is going to craft your policies more to your needs, more to your affordability. And that starts with having a voice-to-voice conversation with your agent to do it. Because we're willing to do these things, but we can't arbitrarily make these assumptions and make these changes to your policies without your knowledge, consent, and written authority. So and when the company sends you a renewal in the mail, we haven't touched that thing yet because we can't.
That's right.
until we talk to our customer and literally go through it with our customer to make the changes, and you have to approve those things. So when we get sometimes these renewals, we will call and try to get a hold of them to work with you to bring that premium down.
She's the best. She's the queen of insurance. We got it for one more segment. Couple questions came over. We're going to have her answer from the Gumbo Nation. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Steiner right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll have about 4.5, 5 minutes when we come back.
All right.
What's next on your thing?
Max, about the 5%.
Okay. I want to go back to LA Citizens.
Okay. When we come back, we'll go right back then. See that girl?
Mm-hmm. Take a picture with me.
All right, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Hey, I just took some information from somebody who wanted to ask a question about his statement on his insurance. So I got his info. I'll send that to y'all when we wrap up the show.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we had some technical difficulties, so we're a little short on time.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I know, it's cool.
What's his name?
All about the queen of insurance in studio. Got a couple minutes left to get your questions answered. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein, Total Home Authority member. Colette Biedenkoff with TWFG Insurance. If you want to reach out to her, 985-951-2070, or you can go to mortgagegumbo.com. Click on the Total Home Authority, and it'll take you right to her website. Colette, you wanted to kind of revisit and talk a little bit more about LA Citizens. So kind of...
Yeah, so everyone has this feeling that, oh my God, I'm getting put in the garbage with, the LA Citizens situation. My experience is this. They have some fantastic people that work at that company. They have designed their systems and ways to navigate with a large volume of policies coming in at one time extremely well. I have zero apprehension with writing them. They have right now their wind rates are lower than everyone else's still, even after the 63% increase they had in 2023. By law, they have to increase rates because by law they're supposed to be higher than the market. But what has happened in the last 2 years is the market is increasing faster than they can increase Citizens because they can only do it once a year. So I have been what I affectionately call a banana split policy, where we used to write one policy. All of the perils were covered under one policy. And right now, what we have found in some instances is to write just the wind portion with LA Citizens and have your traditional homeowner policy written with another company, because the wind rates are not as high as the market is, and we don't have a whole lot of availability to write wind with someone else.
Well, and that's what I think people have to understand. And Gumbo, you know, everybody says homeowners insurance. Well, there's homeowners and there's wind.
Correct. That's
right?
why there's two different deductibles
That's
on
right.
your declaration page.
That's right.
Because the insurance companies that do offer wind coverage have a different rate for their wind versus all other perils. And I get that question. Well, is it just fire?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Right.
it is not just fire.
Right.
Your all other peril policy is things such as water heater busts, floods the house, tub overflows, floods the house, lightning strikes, you know, things like that, that any type of peril that impacts your home is covered under that portion of the policy. If it's a wind related issue, I get this question a lot. Well, what if a wind breaks a limb off a tree and hits my house? That's wind.
That's right. Yeah.
Then I have questions like, well, what's the difference between wind, hail, name storm, hurricane?
1 minute.
If your policy is covering you for wind, all of that is included. Wind, hail, name storm, hurricane is all the same. So in some companies will offer you a different wind and hail deductible. It might be $5,000, and then your hurricane name storm is 5%.
Folks, she's the absolute best. Nobody better out there. Nobody. That's Colette Biedenkopf, the queen of insurance. 985-951-2070. Or you can go to mortgagegumbo.com. Click on Total Home Authority, and it'll take you right to her. Her team is the best in the business, folks. We appreciate you, Queen, coming by.
Thank you, D.
Until next time. Gumbo Nation, keep stirring the pot.
Okay.
Jesus, my mic woke up like all of a sudden. Huh?
Well, you know, I wasn't going to say anything because it was fine. I didn't want
Yeah.
you to touch anything because you got a booming voice, so
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about nobody not hearing you.
My
But
God.
I think when you raised your voice, it was like, pop. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's the processor for the mic.
Dude, I'm a do the blowout thing and all that. You know what I mean? Who knows, bruh?
Right.
I mean, who knows? Do me, see, like there it is again. So do me a favor, Dave, ask Greg if he's planning on me being on the show, yay and nay, so I know whether to stay or not.
All right. Yeah, all right.
All right. All right, Gumbo Nation, thank you so much. Queen.
Sorry, goodbye.
Bye-bye, Queen.